How you doing, everybody? Jonathan here, and in this video I'm going to go over a very important topic, and that is what is the degree to which you should involve yourself with your client's nutrition planning, nutrition preparation, and nutrition goals. And this is going to be important because I believe that due to the term scope of practice, a lot of trainers tend to remove themselves completely from the nutritional aspect of their client's fitness journey. And I'm very passionate about this, as I've obviously had a number of clients come through my doors. I've seen over 1,000 clients specifically through my boot camp and have done thousands, literally thousands of journals to see what people's behaviors are both with and without nutrition coaching from me or an outside source such as a registered dietitian or nutritionist. So we're going to go over the degree to which you can and should involve yourself without making you reckless and involving yourself too deeply. But before I do, if you have not yet, make sure to click on that link up there and subscribe to my newsletter, as I send out short articles every Monday on how to see success in the fitness industry. If you just happen to stumble upon this video, click on the YouTube icon and subscribe to this channel, as I make videos every Wednesday based on questions that I get the most. And last but not least, if you've already subscribed to both my newsletter and to this channel, thank you very much for your support. And if you find the information on this video helpful, please click on the like button and like this video, as every like that I get helps this channel. So I'll start off by just putting it right out there that I believe that as trainers, we have a huge responsibility to our clients to make sure that they're eating correctly, that they're taking the proper foods. And this is because you can't have health without having nutrition, all right? So I essentially put together a little bit of a chart. And in this chart, I want to explore the difference between exercise and performance versus disease. Now, with exercise and performance, the goals are going to be to improve muscular imbalance, mobility, cardiovascular conditioning, and strength. Now, this all presupposes that your client has enough energy to execute the exercises and dedicate themselves to the program necessary to see those changes. On the other hand, you have fitness. And in the area of fitness, the degree to which a client is well, our goal is to decrease risk for metabolic disease, increase overall energy, and help your client achieve an ideal weight with an ideal body fat to maintain this decreased risk of metabolic disease. So when we talk about the left side of this chart, a lot of these goals are accomplished through sets, reps, and choosing the proper exercises. But when we go to the right side, a lot of this is going to hinge very heavily on your client's ability to eat healthily. But for the most part, for me, and I'm assuming for you, most clients come in with the expectation to change body fat and to change weight, not really regarding their risk for metabolic disease and kind of looking at the changes in muscular balance, strength, and energy as fringe benefits of their ultimate goal, which is body composition. And if their goal is to change their body composition, they have to properly fuel their bodies. So, what as a personal trainer are you supposed to do, and what can you do in order to help your clients? So the first thing you want to do is never recommend supplementation before your client has gotten full blood work done by their primary care physician. If your client isn't getting yearly physicals with full blood work done, that should be the first recommendation that you make to your client, because the doctor will test things that we generally don't test, such as cholesterol, blood pressure. They'll check their blood sugars, and the results that come back will first alert the doctor to their client's state of health and fitness, and it may inspire the doctor to refer the client out to a nutritionist or a registered dietitian. And if your client is in the hands of that kind of professional, then at least you know they're having their nutritional habits addressed. And finally, this may alert the primary care physician as to whether or not your client is currently suffering from metabolic disease, such as diabetes. And in this instance, you definitely want to take the power out of your hands, as it is not your job to try to cure disease, but it is your job to turn your client toward better eating habits. So if it is a situation where your client, let's say, has developed type 2 diabetes, then your client may be referred over to a registered dietitian. But in my experience, that doesn't necessarily mean that your job is completely over, because in my personal experience, I found first that the clients very rarely see their registered dietitian or nutritionist. Moreover, most people don't see failure with nutrition habits because they don't know what to do. They see failure because they're not continually monitored. And in most of the instances that I've seen, when a client is handed a diet from the nutritionist or from their dietitian. The professional is expecting your client to just follow it, verbatim for 3 weeks before their next checkup. However, you and I both know that when you speak to your client daily or when you monitor them every couple of days, there's a huge amount of variance in what they eat, and they're often thrown away from their diet plan based on poor scheduling, emotional eating, peer pressure, the media. And it's your job as a fitness professional to identify what habits cause your clients to fall off course, because they can have the perfect 1,500 calorie diet in order to lose weight as long as they follow your nutrition and exercise plan. But if they're not doing it, they're not going to see that success. And people don't get training for the information. They get training for the motivation. They get it for the accountability. They get it for the consistency. And that is your job. Now, you also may have clients that don't even bother to see their primary care physician, that try to take matters into their own hands. And I'm not ever suggesting that you give your clients a diet plan, but you want to be aware of what your client is putting into their system. For instance, I had a client that started earlier this year, and I have all of my clients journal on MyFitnessPal. And when I took a look at her diet, she was eating 500 calories a day, expecting to exercise. There are huge mistakes and wrong assumptions that a lot of clients have. Number one, for instance, clients think they can only take in 1,200 calories a day if they want to lose weight. Number two, they think carbohydrates are bad for them. Number three, they think they shouldn't be eating after 6 p.m. All of this is misinformation, and if you don't involve yourself with your clients' habits and redirect them toward the kinds of foods that they should be eating as opposed to what manufacturers may put on a box, gluten-free, fat-free, sugar-free equals healthy, and that's not always the case, then your client is put at a disadvantage, and you can have the best workouts in the world, but your client isn't going to see any success. So, how do I involve myself with my clients, and what do I suggest that you do? From my own studying, from the CrossFit training, from my own personal experience, and from the success that I've seen with a lot of my clients, I've made use of the Zone Diet, and I found that that's the easiest way for clients to see success because it's about allocating a specific number of calories to carbs, proteins, and fats. 40% carbs, 30% protein, 30% fat. I've also found that clients aren't good at counting grams, much less will they take the time out to do so. However, if you get your clients journaling on a platform like MyFitnessPal, you can at least see the breakdown of their carbs, proteins, and fats at the end of the day. And I have my clients do this daily in order to keep them accountable. Even if they've developed a good groove of eating, they need that consistency. They need that accountability because it's very easy to fall off the wagon. And I don't recommend any kind of supplementation. I don't recommend any kind of diet to start. I essentially just say, do what you're doing right now, and then we go based off of how they're feeling in terms of if they're constantly dragging, odds are there's something going on in their lifestyle or they're not eating enough and they're just trying to lose weight too quickly. I look at the degree to which they're eating processed foods. I ask them questions about things such as digestion or their menstrual cycle, their stress level, and these will always help me to guide them in the right direction. And you can almost never get it wrong if you're constantly preaching fruits, if you're constantly preaching vegetables, things that come from the earth. Now, you may have your own feelings about, eating animal protein, but that's not the case. It's the obvious things. It's staying away from the high sugar. It's staying away from the processed foods. It's staying away from a lot of the alcohol consumption. It's staying away from fast foods. These are no-brainers. These are something that universally everybody knows is not good for you. So for you to say that I can't tell my client to stay away from McDonald's, or I can't tell my client to eat less processed food and more natural foods that come from the earth because that's operating outside of the scope of practice, I can't agree with that. All right, what I would encourage you to do is read as much as possible about nutrition, learn how you can help your client, and then help them solve their own problems after you've exhausted every effort to make sure that they see their primary care physician, have their blood work done. And in that instance, they may get referred out to a registered dietitian or a nutritionist, and then your goal will be just to reinforce everything that the registered dietitian or nutritionist says. But you're never going to be completely absolved of monitoring your client's nutrition because that is the main thing that your client needs to stay on top of if they want to see success. Now, if you have questions, or if you need help with how to nutritionally coach, I definitely recommend that you check out my Dumbbells to Dollars course. In addition to fitness training and learning how to build a business, learning how to market yourself, I've dedicated a lot of information on how I nutritionally coach for my clients, how I use MyFitnessPal, how I calculate their calories, because I have the Fit Pro calculator that all of my students get for free as a starter pack so that they can guide their clients to making the right decision. So if you need help with that area, I definitely recommend that you click on that image right there, because it is going to be the best resource for any trainer looking to see success in the fitness industry. So that's about it. I don't want you to completely remove yourself from the nutritional habits, the nutritional planning from your client. You just don't want to give them a piece of paper and say, just do this, and you don't want to try to cure disease. So stay involved, help your clients, keep them accountable. It's a little bit of extra work every day, but it's worth it because it'll help your clients to see success, which will cause them to refer their friends, which will in the end make you more money so that you can be more successful. And that's my goal for you. So I hope you found this video helpful. Remember, if you have any questions or comments, make sure to comment below. I'm sure there are people that feel very strongly one way or the other, and I definitely want to hear from you guys, as this is a video that was made based on a comment that I saw a couple videos back. So I want to make sure that this isn't just a one-way conversation. You guys may inspire me to, attack this from a different perspective, but I have a lot of videos that I want to do for you guys coming up. Stay tuned. I'm going to be back next Wednesday. So like this video if you found it helpful. Check out the Dumbbells to Dollars course to learn about nutritional coaching, and tune back in next week. So I'll see you. Good luck, have fun training your clients, and remember to eat healthy, hydrate, drive safe. Stress levels will get rest. Don't slap anybody. You'll love your clients, they'll love you back. I'll see y'all tomorrow or the next day, and you have a good one.